Hi everybody and welcome. Thanks for joining us again. Today we're going to be speaking about sealing your natural stone. Jason, as a best practice, you should always seal your natural stone. This should be the final stage of your installation. The last thing you're going to do before you leave that project is seal your stone. Why is that?
Well, everyone thinks of natural stone as being hard, and you're right, it is very hard. However, it is also a porous product. And now you've exposed those pores to the atmosphere for the first time in millions and millions of years. So sealing your natural stone is always a good idea. It's going to help keeping your natural stone project looking beautiful for as long as they're down. You want to keep it looking like it did on day one, then I would seal it as soon as possible.
Yep. So for the most part in the marketplace, there's two different types of sealers. There's surface sealers and there's impregnating sealers. And though they both have their features and benefits, as a best practice, we're going to recommend using impregnating sealers, and that's going to be our focus for today. But let's start with surface sealers first, Jay.
Sure. So on the illustration behind me here, you can see the orange stripe, and that's representing the coat that a surface sealer will put on. Surface sealers come in water-based and solvent-based, but really that's just the vehicle to spread out an acrylic layer over top of the natural stone. And that acrylic layer is going to prevent anything from getting into the stone, like stains or dirt. However, one of the issues may be that it will also seal it from the bottom up. So if you do have any moisture that's underneath the natural stone and it's trying to get up to the surface, it's going to get stuck by that layer as well, and that could cause some problems like staining.
For sure. So in the photo behind us here, that's obviously one of the issues. It looks like there's a couple of things going on, but it's definitely exacerbated by the surface sealer.
Right, there's more than one issue going on here. This is a poorly installed natural stone project. It's been installed on points, and points are globs of mortar just put on the back in different areas on the slab, and the slab set in place. And here they put over it with a surface sealer, and now as the moisture is trying to evaporate out of the mortar and come up through the surface, it's trapped. And the trap is showing with the circles of efflorescence.
Yeah, so this contractor probably should have watched our video on installing natural stone, which you can check out at unilock.com if you have some questions about that. So Jay, let's move on now to impregnating sealers.
Sure, and in the illustration here, you can see that there's no orange stripe, and all we're trying to show you there is that it does not put a coating over the surface. It's just going to penetrate deep into the pores of the natural stone, and it's going to prevent it from getting stained just like a surface sealer. However, again, if there's any moisture that's trying to evaporate from underneath, this is a breathable system, and that moisture can escape into the atmosphere, so no efflow staining.
So Jay, the products we're demonstrating today is the Unicare line, and now that we kind of understand the primary differences between the two sealers, let's maybe just take a closer look at what these do and how exactly we should be applying them. So everybody wants their natural stone projects to be beautiful like the one here, and hopefully maintenance free, or at least with as little maintenance as possible. There's a wide range of products available on the market. Some of them are very costly and complicated, not very easy to use. Others are extremely inexpensive. Perhaps they are easy to use, but the performance isn't quite what you would expect or what you were looking for when you purchased your sealer. The Unicare line is a really nice mix of both.
Right, and you know what, I'm glad you brought up maintenance, because we get asked that often. I don't want to get locked into a maintenance program every year of resealing my natural stone. Well, with these sealers, it's not every year. However, I kind of look at it from the opposite view. If you're going to seal your natural stone, you're going to prevent it from staining, and you're going to prevent dirt from grinding into it. And as it rains, or if you wash it with the hose, and the water is running off your patio, it's going to grab onto that dirt and pull it off with it. So it's kind of a self-cleaning patio. There's two sealers we have today, and although these are new to Unilock's lineup, they're not new on the market.
No, that's right, Jay. So we partnered with a company called United Stone Care out of the UK. They have decades of experience in natural stone installations. They've got a full line of cleaning and sealing products. And this is something that we discovered, and we partnered with them to be able to bring that to our contractor partners here in North America. not only are their products great, but all of the information and knowledge and experience that comes with them is also a huge benefit to all of us. And Jay and I will go into a little bit more detail on how you can kind of tap into that community and why that would be important to you later on in the presentation. But let's kind of dial back in here, Jay, and talk about actually applying the sealers. And we'll begin that with some of the tools that are most commonly used.
Sure. So I've got a couple of rollers here, and everybody's familiar with rolling because they probably painted their house a few times. Just the difference between these two is one's rated for a solvent-based sealer and one's rated for a water-based sealer. The difference being that if you use a water-based in the solvent, it's going to eat away at it and you're going to get chunks of the actual roller on your natural stone. But I'm going to go and say that I wouldn't even roll on my sealers. You tend to get like a shinier line right at the edges of it every time you do a pass. So my preference would be, if it's a small project, to use a wide bristled brush like this one right here. It gives you a really nice finish, and you know, it may not be as quick. If you have a big project, I'm going to recommend a flat mop similar to this one. It's going to give you a nice finish again, and it is efficient. Do you want to talk about how to do it?
For sure.
Absolutely. Yep. So both of them are installed in the same way. The Nat Matte and the Nat Color Enhanced Sealer, you want to leave the surface wet for about 20 minutes. And what I mean by that is, if you apply a coat and it absorbs really quickly within the first 5 minutes, add a second coat, add a third coat. Just keep the stone looking wet for 20 minutes and then soak up any leftover pools or puddles on the surface.
Yeah, Jay, we did miss one really important step though. The first thing that you want to do before you even get into that is make sure that your stone is completely clean. So we do have a presentation on cleaning your natural stone. We recommend that you check that out. Again, we've kind of alluded to some of the cleaning products offered by Unicare in our partnership with United Stone Care. Those are covered in that presentation, but that stone, the surface of it before you get sealing has to be completely clean.
Perfect.
Once you've started to seal the stone, it's very, very difficult to remove any staining or any debris that you might have trapped in there. So first and foremost, make sure the stone is clean, and then as Jason mentioned, that's when we're going to start to apply our various coats and just make sure that it looks nice and wet for 20 minutes, removing any puddling or pooling.
Right, so right now we're looking at Black River limestone coping, and before on the left and after on the right. And the key point here is that with black limestone, any black limestone is going to fade very quickly. So this is a really important product to get to real quick after installation. So you want to do it within the first 60 days. It's always easier to get this sort of look from the beginning than it is to restore it after it's already faded to a chalky white.
For sure. Now, if you already love the look of your stone and you're not looking to enhance the color and maybe you don't want to change the appearance, then the Nat Matte Sealer is going to be a much better option for you.
Right, so I can describe what's on the screen here. In the circle, the water is beating up on the surface, and underneath the circle, it's kind of absorbed right into the natural stone. And you can't see a difference in the color in this picture. That's because we wanted to do the Nat Matte Sealer and not change the look of the stone. I can demonstrate that over here on our display with spraying some water. So all of these stones are sealed on the bottom. We've got the color enhancer on these two. You can see how it's brought out the veining in this piece here, a really nice look. Here it's made it more rich and a damp sort of look. And these two are the Nat Matte Sealers, and it hasn't changed the look at all. So as I'm spraying the water on it, you can really see it absorb into the top and just beat up on the bottom. So the top is going to get darker and the bottom's going to stay looking the same. You can imagine if you've spilled coffee on there, that's your coffee absorbing in. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I love that demo.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Jay, we had mentioned earlier in the presentation about the community and how the people who are watching can tap into it. You know, this is a really great website. If you want to copy down the URL, might be a good spot to maybe snap a picture or pause the video and have a look. This is a perfect spot. You're going to see this is a screen grab. That's the landing page. There's product calculators on there. There's product data sheets, safety data sheets, wealth of information at your fingertips.
Right, and if you run into a problem that you don't know how to fix yourself, there's a great set of articles on here that'll, you just kind of choose the one that most closely represents your problem and there's a solution right there telling you what product to use and how to do it.
Yep, and in the event that you are not able to find something that matches the issue that you're experiencing, there's also a section where you can type in a brief description and upload a photo, and then somebody will get back to you with a couple possible solutions. So again, we take a lot of pride here at Unilock in having boots on the ground. You're always welcome to reach out to your territory manager or your contractor services representative, and we're more than happy to help you out. But in the event that it's a little bit easier for you to maybe just click, you're welcome to do that at the website above there as well. So Jay, we've gone through quite a bit of information here, and we've moved through it fairly quickly. Before we sign off, let's just do a little bit of a recap and touch on the most important points from our presentation today.
Absolutely. Seal all natural stone projects. That's your best practice. You want to get to it quickly within the first 60 days after install, and the stone must be cleaned prior to sealing it. And impregnating sealers have that benefit of allowing the system to breathe, so if there is any moisture underneath that's trying to escape, it's not going to show up as an 𝐓𝐿O stain on the surface. And again, utilize the experience and support of your Unilock and beyond community.
Yeah, for sure. And that concludes today's presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you very much.